Before I start today's reading, I need to tell you something. I've gone through this chapter 3 times now, and every time my heart stops at the same spot. We all know Violet Sorrengail. We've seen her survive the threshing, survive Xaden, and survive the betrayal at Athabine. But what happens in this specific scene? It changes the entire power dynamic of the series. See, Violet thinks she's won. She walks into her trial with a literal get out of jail free card and a smirk that would kill a lesser man. But while she's playing chess with the Senarium, her greatest nightmare just got a promotion. I'm sharing this part with you today because it marks the exact second. The scribe mindset isn't enough anymore. If you think the wards were the biggest secret in Navarre, you're wrong. The real war doesn't start on a battlefield. It starts in a hallway with a single sentence that puts everyone Violet loves in a meat grinder. Pay close attention to the shift in the air when a certain general enters the room, because after this, nothing is ever the same again. Let's get into it. Violet Sorrengail just did the impossible. She committed high treason, altered the ancient wards of Navarre, and walked into her own trial with a smile on her face. Why? Because she had the ultimate trump card, a royal pardon signed before the ink on her crimes was even dry. For a moment it looks like she's won. She's staring down the Senarium, she's back with Xaden, and she's secured a secret library that might hold the cure to the venom. But in the world of Fourth Wing, victory always has a price. Her greatest enemy just got promoted to general, and he's found the one weakness Violet can't protect. Her friends. Forget the trial. The real war just started, and the first stop is the front lines of Samara. Violet thought she was untouchable. She was wrong. Being arrested for treason doesn't exactly come as a shock, but Colonel Aetos delivering the accusation is a blow I didn't see coming. Dad? Dane stands. Aetos's head swivels toward Dane, and his mouth twists into a sneer. I have no son, I gasp, and hurt flashes across Dane's face before he schools his features and straightens his shoulders. As Cadet Sorrengail's wing leader request denied, Colonel Aetos snaps. We can't just sit here, Rydok argues quietly. You can and you will. I make my way down the row and glance up at Dane. I'm all right. You're far from all right? Aetos growls. The world rocks beneath my feet, and I curse my lack of sleep as I climb the steps to Aetos and the 4 lieutenants posted at his side. One of the women gestures toward the door, and I hold her head high as I walk by Aetos, somehow managing not to vomit when I see his rank has been raised to general. Aetos, keep space. At my side in the hallway, you're as good as dead for what you've done. I will only speak to the Senarium. Good thing they're gathered. It will make for a quick trial. After a silent procession through the quadrant and into the main campus, Aetos escorts me past a barrage of guards and cadets from other quadrants and into the great hall. Entering the room just ahead of me, I have brought the traitor. He steps aside to reveal the long table set for negotiations to resume. The members of the Senarium sit to the left side again, all dazzling in their choice of clothing this morning, with the exception of the one in rider black. Xaden turns in his seat at the end of the table and lifts his scarred brow as shadows brush across my mind. What happened to not getting into trouble? I never promised that. I hold his gaze, noting the circles under his eyes. You look tired, just what every man wants to hear from the person he loves. He drums his fingers on the table, drawing my attention to a scrap of fabric in front of him, my lightning wielder patch. I've decided I'm done not knowing what you're up to. Good choice. You really fucked with the wards? Someone once told me the right way isn't the only way. I use his own words from my first year against him, and his mouth tightens. As you can see, we have the evidence we need to place you at the stone, Aetos declares as he reaches the table. I ask that the Senarium quickly pass judgment. He glances at Xaden. Unless your newest addition needs to recuse himself for his proximity to the traitor, remove yourself if you can't be silent, Aetos. The Duke of Calder leans back in his chair and runs a hand over his short blonde beard. You have no purview here. Aetos stiffens at my side, then retreats with the other riders, leaving me to face the Senarium. Do you have a plan, Violence? Xaden asks, and though a muscle in his jaw flexes, the shadows in the room stay put. I'm assuming so, since this patches seems look cleanly cut. Has anyone reported if the capabilities of the wards were damaged beyond allowing the flyers to wield? The Duke of Calder asks. Did you sign the accord for the riot to stay? I ask Xaden just to be sure. They're intact against dark wielders. Xaden's fingers still. I wouldn't be sitting here if I hadn't. Then I have a perfect plan. How would you know? The Duchess of Moraine turns in her seat. Because I would know, Xaden replies to me alone. We haven't been swarmed, and Barlow remains in our interrogation chamber. The wards are holding. He tilts his head and gives me the same look of anticipation he does when we step on the mat to spar. I'm eager for the show. I'll save everyone the fuss of organizing a trial and execution. I point to the patch I cut off my uniform last night. That's mine. I was the one who orchestrated altering the wardstone. I'm the reason that the flyers can wield and that you now have a clear path to negotiate an alliance. You're welcome. The confession is met with 6 pairs of raised eyebrows and one sexy as hell smirk. Guess we're not going for subtlety. No time for subtlety, and no evidence to convict anyone else in case it went awry. I. The Duchess of Moraine looks to her peers, her giant ruby earrings smacking her golden brown jawline as she swings her head back and forth. What do we even do with that? Nothing, Xaden answers, watching me like I'm the only one in the room. Cadet Sorrengail, and whomever she acted with, committed the crime last night, and as of this morning, every single one of you and our king signed their pardons. I nod. Brilliant, reckless woman. His gaze heats, and I fight a smile. So there's nothing we can do. The Duchess of Elsam leans forward, her long brown tresses brushing the table. She alters our defenses and then what? Goes back to class? It would seem so. The Duke of Calder nods slowly. Seems the young woman pulled off quite the feat. A new voice says. I glance to my right, then do a double take at the woman standing in the north doorway of the hall. The silver of her intricate, armored breastplate flashes in the morning light as she walks forward, her smile crinkling. The light brown skin at the edges of her dark eyes. She wears a pair of scarlet breeches with a short sword sheathed at her hip and a sparkling tiara atop her riotous curls, its delicacy a striking contrast to her weaponry. Queen Maraya, your majesty. I bow my head like my father taught me. Cadet Sorrengail, she says, and I look up to find her mere feet away. I've heard much about the continent's only lightning wielder, and I am pleased to see the compliments were not spoken in hyperbole. She glances sideways at the Senarium. I assume she's free to return to her duties, as surely your king will arrive at any minute to continue our negotiations. There's not a thing we can do to her. Xaden pockets my patch, and the others slowly agree, 4 of them with more than a little anger in their eyes. Excellent, Queen Maraya offers the Senarium a smile, then pulls me aside and lowers her voice. Viscount Tecorus spoke of the deal you made. You truly risked your king's wrath, your kingdom's defenses, all to keep my flyers here. Yes, my stomach clenches. It was the right thing to do, and in return you only asked for unfettered access to his library. She studies me closely, but I hold her gaze. It's the best on the continent and our best hope for any historical record of how we defeated the Venin centuries ago, and how we can cure them. Tell me you didn't do this for me. Xaden's chair creaks against the stone floor. I thought we promised never to lie to each other. You endangered yourself. His tone tightens, and I have no regrets. The sooner he gets it through his head that I'll do anything in my power to cure him, the easier this will be on both of us. Fascinating. The Queen's smile warms. But his is not the best. Mine is. I have thousands upon thousands of volumes secured in my summer home, and you are now welcome to any and all of them. I'll have my steward send you a full catalogue, though I warn you, we have yet to come across any such historical record. Thank you. Hope fills my chest. If I don't find it, Jacinia will. She nods once, then heads toward the table, effectively dismissing me. I quickly take my leave, escaping before King Tory or Halden can appear. This discussion isn't over, Xaden warns as I rush into the hallway, nearly taking out Ree and Rydok in the process. But it is for now. I catch my balance as the door slams behind me. What are you doing here? Every second year in our squad seems to have pushed their way through the guards. We were kind of worried they'd haul you behind the school and turn you to ash. Rydok rubs his hand over the tattoo of a dragon on the side of his neck. I'm fine. Anything we did up until this morning has been pardoned. Did you skip the rest of battle brief? There wasn't much to brief us on, since information is coming in from the border at a trickle. one active combat zone that they know of. Repauses, her eyes flying wide. Vi, you will face consequences. Aetos roars from the left and I pivot, putting myself between him and my friends as he charges down the thick red carpet at us. Anger rises, swift and strong, bringing power rushing to the surface of my skin. Not from you, she won't. Brennan steps through the line of guards directly in front of me and shakes his head. You, Aetos recoils, this whole time. Me, Brennan nods, and I move to his side. You lost. My fingers brush the hilt of a dagger at my thigh as I glare up at the man I'd once considered a role model. You tried to kill us at Athabine, sent assassins after me in the fall, and even sixed Varish on me, and I'm still here. You lost. We're pardoned, we're here, and yet I'm the one the king appointed to take over as commanding general of Bastiath. He gestures to the busy hall around us. So maybe it's you who has actually lost, Cadet Sorrengail. My heart gallops, the edges of my vision turn dark, and I wobble. No, anyone but him, anyone. I shake my head as Brennan grasps a fistful of fabric at the back of my uniform, steadying me. You're unfit to sit at her desk, Brennan snaps. But here I am. He stands a bit taller. The Senarium may abide by the pardon, but I assure you that you will not get away with altering a stone none of us fully understand with endangering our kingdom. But here I am, I reply softly, anger quickly replacing shock. Your threats are just threats. I'm no longer the scared first year, unsure if I'd survive threshing or be capable of wielding. I take a single step in his direction. One of my dragons is among the most powerful on the continent, and the other is the rarest. I didn't realize it last year or even a few months ago, but I do now. You can't afford to kill me. His face, so like Dane's, twists into a scowl. You can't afford to lose either of my dragons, let alone my Signet, and you sure as Malek can't afford to lose Lieutenant Riorson's, or should I call him the Duke of Tyrender? I hold out both arms at my sides, exposing my torso. Do your worst, but we both know I'm now beyond your reach, General. Slowly, I let my arms fall. Do my worst. Heaving breaths raise and lower his shoulders as he looks to Brennan, then behind him. I know exactly where to strike in order to bring you to heel, Cadet. Your siblings may be out of my chain of command, but your friends are not. My stomach dips. You second years seem pretty loyal to one another. He drags his gaze back to mine. They'll pay each and every time you disobey an order or step out of line, starting now. His head tilts as he stares past me. You want to play with matters of war? Then you won't mind serving on the front? He glances at squad leader. Every second year under your command is hereby ordered for 2 days of duty at the outpost of Samara, to begin tomorrow morning. A cruel smile curves his mouth as he addresses me. The fighting there is rather intense, but surely your Signet will keep your squad mates alive, and 2 days should get you back before your dragon feels the loss of his mate tomorrow morning. My lips part, but it's at least an 18-hour flight for a Griffin, and they'll need breaks. It's more like 20 hours total, and they'll be exhausted by the time we get there. Then I guess you'd better get going. I hope to see you all return intact. The intellectual victory. Can we just talk about the absolute boss move Violet just pulled? Walking into a room full of people who want you dead and basically saying, yeah, I did it. Also, you already pardoned me. You're welcome. This is the Violet we've been waiting to see, the one who uses her scribe mind to outmaneuver the military machine. Watching her throws Aiden's own words back at him while he looks on with that proud but terrified smirk. That is peak Xaden and Violet energy. They are finally operating as a power couple, and for a second it feels like they might actually be ahead of the game. The Queen and the Cure, but the real highlight here is Queen Maraya. She doesn't just offer protection. She offers the one thing Violet needs more than safety: information. By giving Violet access to her private library, the stakes for Onyx Storm just skyrocketed. Violet isn't just fighting for the Flyers anymore. She's officially on a mission to find a cure for the venin. This confirms what we've all suspected: the answer isn't in Navarre's scrubbed history. It's across the border. The brutal reality check, however, the mood shifts the second they hit that hallway. General Aetos is the villain we love to hate, and his promotion is a nightmare scenario. Violet tries to claim she's untouchable because of her dragons, but Aetos plays the one card she can't beat. He knows he can't kill the continent's most powerful weapon, so he decides to break it by sending her squad into a meat grinder. Samara isn't just a deployment, it's a death sentence for exhausted riders and griffins. Final theory and interaction. So here is the big question for the comments. How is the squad going to survive a 20-hour flight straight into an active combat zone? Is this where we see Violet's second Signet finally manifest under pressure, or is someone in the Iron Squad not coming back from Samara? Drop your theories below. Is Aetos going too far, or did Violet hand him the rope to hang her with? Hit follow because the flight to Samara starts now. Okay, we need to stop right there and talk about what just happened because that ending is absolutely brutal. First, can we just appreciate the absolute intellectual dominance Violet just displayed? This is the scribe Violet we've been waiting for. She didn't just survive a trial, she outmaneuvered the entire military machine of Navarre, walking into a room full of people who want you dead and saying, "Yeah, I did it. Also, you already pardoned me. You're welcome." That is peak energy. Even Xaden, who is usually the one with the master plan, looks at her with that proud but terrified smirk. They are finally operating as a true power couple. But then we have to look at Queen Maraya. This is a massive lore drop. She didn't just offer protection. She offered the one thing Violet needs more than safety, information. By giving Violet access to her private library, the stakes for the rest of the story just skyrocketed. It confirms what we've suspected: the answer to curing the venom isn't in Navarre's scrubbed history, it's across the border. However, the mood shifts the second they hit that hallway. General Aetos is officially the villain we love to hate. His promotion is a nightmare scenario. Violet tried to claim she's untouchable because her dragons are too valuable to kill, and she's right, but Aetos knows he doesn't have to kill the weapon to break it, he just has to destroy the person holding it. By sending the squad to Samara, he's playing the ultimate villain card. Think about the logistics: an 18 to 20-hour flight on exhausted griffins straight into an active combat zone. That isn't a deployment, it's a death sentence. So I have to ask you guys in the comments, how is the squad going to survive this? Is this the moment where Violet's second Signet finally manifests under the pressure of saving her friends? Or is someone in the Iron Squad not coming back from Samara? Drop your theories below. Is Aetos going too far, or did Violet just hand him the rope to hang her with? Hit follow because the flight to Samara starts now.